People are dressing up as Ray Rice for Halloween. You can search up the hashtag, Ray Rice Halloween costume, and you'll see a lot on Instagram, Twitter, and most of the people are white people. They really are. And so they're not only dressing up as Ray Rice and celebrating domestic violence, but also they are donning blackface. It's so uncomfortable. We're going to have a number of photos here. Let me read some tweets from Keith Olbermann, who saw a number of these posts. The first one, he says, if you miss this amazing racism and pro-domestic violence BS posted to Instagram, and then he shows it. And then he has another one retweeted. And we have a winner in the Proud Daughter sweepstakes for morons. And another one from Keith Olbermann, who's got number for child services, and also this one posting another photo. And if you look at them, you see, people, whether it's like a husband and wife team, boyfriend and girlfriend team, or there's one guy that's dragging a blow-up doll, because from that infamous video, if you haven't seen that elevator video where Ray Rice knocks out his then fiance, who's now wife, they're now married, and then also drags her out of the elevator. Of course, he was initially suspended from the Ravens, then suspended indefinitely from the Ravens and the NFL. I guess he's appealing it. And then his wife did release a tweet after seeing all of this commotion on Twitter. She responded, "It's sad to TMZ that my suffering amuses others." Thoughts, 5 words or less.
I was going to try to make a pun, but honestly, I'm so f***ing appalled.
Yeah. This costume's a hit.
That's so Ravens.
Humanity scares me.
Here's the thing. The thought question I have is, other costumes for Halloween include the devil.
Murderers.
Murderers, Jason, Freddy, killers.
Oh, you mean fictional characters?
Unless you're talking about Freddy, who is real. But I'm saying, if this starts disturbing me, and this is how I use it, if this starts disturbing me as how terrible of these people, this is the day to dress as the evilest of the evil. So in many ways it makes sense if you give the benefit of the doubt to those people. So that's the thought question of it. The truth is, these people just think they're being hilarious.
Yeah.
And they don't have a really good sense of humor. They're tone deaf. And so you can't even give them the benefit of the doubt. Because of the little smirk on their faces.
Trust your visceral reaction. When I see somebody dressed up as Hitler, that bothers me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I know it's Halloween, but it bothers me. When I see somebody dressed up like Ray Rice, that bothers me. So I guess you just have to use your common sense, especially because the Ray Rice situation is so raw, and Janae, the wife, is still dealing with this. Can you imagine what she sees? You're making fun of somebody that got beat down by her husband, and this is so fresh in her wounds are still very fresh, and then we're going out dressing like that for Halloween. I'm not okay with it.
No.
How messed up?
I also am not okay with it, but I just want to play devil's advocate for a second, because I actually was reading some of these forums. I've been living under a rock, and I didn't know anything about this until the story was sent to me. One of the things that was interesting is that, and it's unfortunate, that women who stay in domestic violence situations get a lot of blame.
Right.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of forums out there where she's heavily criticized because she wasn't at the time married to him. So for staying and then escalating the relationship to the point of marriage, she's kind of, well, you've made a choice to actively stay in this relationship. And so just for a moment, I'm just saying that's the other side of the argument, that people who would wear these costumes, well, obviously she doesn't really have a problem with it because she stays in this relationship.
And I think the statistic is,
which is unfortunate.
Right. The statistic is, because we reported on this on Dr. Drew, and there's we brought up some statistics where it takes 7 times for somebody that's in a relationship that is suffering from abuse, whether it's a male or female, the average number of times until they finally leave that person is 7 times. So, because they have that, whether it's a battered woman syndrome, whether they just feel like they can't make it on their own, whether it's financial, it's...
And because the abusers don't just physically abuse, they also demoralize. And by demoralizing the person, they're much less likely to feel empowered and to be able to leave.
And she's abusive to him, too. Not to say that you can compare the two, but because men are stronger, he's out on the football field, and you can't even equate the two, but still, she's abusive as well. Both of them need to go get treatment. If they're going to work it out, both of them need to figure out how to work that out.
I think we need to put this case aside and just look at this as an issue and say that this is the most up thing you could wear for Halloween. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's Ray Rice and his girlfriend or anyone else in the news who's not an NFL player or anything. Just dressing up as that and just.
It's so prevalent.
It's just not.
And seeing the kids dress up that way, what are you showing your child? Putting a bruise on your child's doll's face and being like, walk around like that's your wife and you knocked her out? Are you fucking kidding me?
As well, which is also she's potentially
she could potentially be a victim of domestic violence.
Exactly.
Let's talk about the fact that I'm not saying everybody was white, but the hashtags that I saw, these were white people. Why do you think people still are wearing blackface and then even taking it to a whole nother level by bragging about it on social media?
I think it's just what Brett said. I think they think they're so hilarious, and they're really not at all.
Blackface has been a problem for 100 years. And it has only been in a more politically correct society when people realize how messed up it is, it's even come under more scrutiny. But right now, I think what we're seeing in an era of Instagram is these people who are dressing up this way, they get away with it in their group of friends. It isn't until they put it online that people can find it, that they finally have others saying, you are so messed up. People, white people, my people. Hello, my people. Let me speak to my people. Blackface is off limits, just don't do it. No. It's not funny. You're being edgy, you're getting a response, but don't be like the dog that eats shoes just so someone will pay attention to it. You're being an ass.
Yeah.
Thanks, Brett.
Shauna, what is your opinion on all that?
Yeah. I mean, it's a stupid thing to do. It's a culturally insensitive thing to do. They think they're being funny, I assume, but it's not. It's just stupid. When something is this, not even childish, because even children, when they're doing something mean, they have an awareness that they're doing something mean. They're like, oh, I'm talking about you, but it's not even childish. It's just so beneath the kind of the awareness of an adult that I'm like, I don't even have words for it. It's like I kind of just think it's petty and foolish, and I almost am more dismissive of it because I think it's so beneath my attention. It's like, don't give it attention, because then that feeds, oh, well, people notice me now. Well, it's a terrible thing to do. It's a terrible costume. It promotes everything that's bad, and you're doing it and you're an adult.
Right.
Okay, great.
What about the parents on Instagram that are the kids that posted the pictures of their parents dressing up this way on Instagram? Yeah. That's what got to me the most. I mean, of course, the little kids dressing up like that, but the kids that were like, my dad's cooler than your dad.
Oh my gosh.
Look at what he wore. It's like, that is how they were raised, and that's how they're probably going to raise their children. And that's what freaks me out, is like, these are full-on adults.
The hope is, because of social media and because of the backlash, they'll maybe now think, my dad isn't that cool, really?
Yeah.
It's not that cool to don blackface and kind of glorify domestic violence? Okay. And maybe that will then give a seed of doubt to that ideology.
Yeah.
So hopefully.
All right, what do you guys think about these people dressing up as Ray Rice for Halloween, as well as donning blackface? Please continue this conversation below. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you guys all next time on Pop Trigger.